Welcome everybody to the 1 hour Bathurst race in the RP series, round 3. We are live with about 12 minutes left of practice. Let's get you on board with Thomas Jack, one of our ones to watch today. We are going to be very happy with him. So let's have a look as he comes up through the mountainous section of Bathurst. I am Jack. I am covering for our lovely normal commentator Huski as he is braving it out in the British countryside, enjoying a lovely rally today. What we're going to do for you is we're going to let you enjoy the next 11 minutes of practice while we give you some updates on the season and series so far and the format for today's race. And then we'll get into our 15-minute qualifying session at just past half the hour. So, we are looking at 3 splits for this season. We have our Platinum, Silver and Bronze splits. We are 2 races in, so let's give you a rundown of the top 5 for each of those. So, in our Bronze series, we have, let's see if he's in the session ready for us to have a look. Hasn't joined us. There he is. The number 90 Porsche of Mr. Todd Curtis. Currently sitting lovely in the garage for us in that beautiful, beautiful white and gold Porsche. In second place for the bronze, we have Mark Dizon, who has not joined us just yet. We have Jay Olsen. Again, the same as above. Can Akel in the 29 Ferrari lining up in the garage next to Tom Curtis. Hopefully he can get some good points. And then we have Mr. Frederick Schloblem in the beautiful, beautiful Bentley. Going to have a lot of advantage down the back straight on this track. In our silver category, we have the one, the only, if I can find him, I'm not... bit of practice, but we have Mr. Mike Benke in the V12 Aston Performance with that beautiful rock and stone livery. Absolutely going to be tearing it down, potentially hitting upwards of maybe 260, 270k. In second place in the silver category, we have Jeroen Uderdrop representing the Netherlands and Pixel Chasers in that absolutely striking pink and blue Lamborghini, looking absolutely great. We have Mr. Jacob himself, who is not quite ready to be with us. He is sitting in third with Mr. Jurgens Oosthausen in the that green Lamborghini with the pink wings, representing the United Kingdom, and bringing up the 5th position. We have a Mr. Corey Davis, who I cannot quite see him with us, but we are all here for the front of the pack. We are all here for our platinum drivers. The first of which, currently in joint first, we have the wonderful one and only Martin Kovacs. And joining him is Robin Moe, who I do not know if he's turning up today, but I hope he is. He is always excellent to see. We have the 549 of Matthew Marlowe, chilling in the pits with the Flyboys livery on. We have Mantos Luzanas, who is sitting in that 111 McLaren. We'll have you watch him beautifully through the mountain section while we go through the last couple of spots. And we have, 5th but not least, after a disappointing DNF last week in Silverstone, we have Mr. Thomas Jack, who we will be on board with for his first lap of qualifying in this session. So, this week, third week of the season, slightly shorter season just because of the Christmas break. We're at Mount Panorama in wonderful sunny Australia. Hopefully we can enjoy some scenic views and not many deaths in the skyline portion of the track. So, we are hoping for a wonderful, wonderful race. We have some absolutely amazingly talented drivers joining us. We have a stacked platinum, a very competitive silver and bronze leagues this year. We are going to be treated to an hour of on-track action, this time with 2 mandatory pit stops. going to add a lovely little bit of flavour to what is normally a quite kind of like a practice race at this point. Low fuel means we're going to have much higher lap times, or quicker lap times than normal. We're going to have a little bit less tyre degradation with a little bit less weight, and they can push the tyres the entire stint each time because they're not getting to the end of those tyres at any chance. So I'll give you some of that beautiful engine noise, and we'll get on the interior of the number 13 McLaren for you. Just hear that wonderful, wonderful engine in the back just growling for us. I am joined by my man on the ground. We have Mr. Ivan Barak, the Iceman. How are you today, sir?
Hello, hello. I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. It's a really sunny day here in Bathurst. Expecting a great race.
Excellent. So we are going to be disappearing for yourselves. We'll keep you the audio on, but as a reminder, we here at the Racing Pals Media Group are brought to you by our wonderful Patreons. So we have Jacob, Deep Cuts, Robin Moeling, Alvin Yakatori, Suicidal Cookie, M1LDT, Alexander Georgiev, I'm G Gott, and our lovely partner Pierre Moreno, who will I wonder is he going to join us today. He is one of the most exciting drivers I've had the pleasure to commentate for in the past, and is just absolutely genuinely amazing human being as well. So thank you to all the patrons. What I'll do is I'll give you some lovely visuals. I'm going to cut the audio out for yourselves, and 5 minutes time we'll be in qualifying. See you then. you are back with Jack on the stream now. So we're just waiting for the last few cars to come back into the pits. Just got Gottlieb out on a absolute worldly of a lap right now. But once that is all done, we are going to be straight into 15 minutes of consecutive practice. Just the one class, but we're going to be on board for the number 13 McLaren Thomas Jack's first flying lap. We're going to see where he ends up in the field. Is he going to get out nice and early, or is he going to have some traffic to deal with? And we're going to watch essentially a masterclass of qualifying. We're going to see the person who is currently top of the timing boards in practice put everything on the line to get that fast banker lap. And then we'll see where everyone else is fitting in between that. We'll try and give you as much as we can. If we miss anything, apologies. But that is just me being bad and needing to get better. That'll be how that works. So let's get everything up and ready. I hope everyone who is listening is having a wonderful evening. I hope everyone is enjoying a nice crisp winter wind, and we're going to enjoy a lovely Australian summer. And I think we're about to do something very interesting. And that is fun. So we are green light for qualifying. We're going to have a look at Thomas Jack. We're going to get on the helicam for him. He has a couple of cars in front of him. Looks to be that of Chris Lucht and Martin Kovacs in that Pink Pig 861 Porsche. We're going to have a gander to see if Thomas Jack, how he gets the space, how he gets through this wonderful, wonderful, historic racetrack that we have the pleasure of driving at this evening. It is currently 7:33 British time. We have 14 minutes left on qualifying. Let's see who's pole. Up in the mountain section, going up to Skyline, a incredibly fast blind braking zone. But we'll go for an onboard lap with you. We'll get some views from some of our experts that I've got with me in the booth once the lap is done, see how they feel it went. And we'll see where everyone finishes their first lap. We have a few people still in the pits. Mr. Gottlieb, Tiggy, who is the number 16 McLaren, serving a qualifying ban for incidents brought up from the last little bit. And it seems like people are side by side on the back straight, giving Thomas Jack all the space. He's potentially asked just to put on his best show that he can for us. Just coming around those last couple of corners, what we'll do is we'll give you a passenger view, and we'll get rid of all of these inconsequential little bits of information around it. You, me, and the RP Series logo watching Thomas Jack on a flying lap. Let's see how it goes. So, run up to the first corner. He's going to brake around the 60-meter mark. Try and keep it nice and close to the left, and use as much of the run-up as you can, because you've got a very, very, very long straight until turn 2. And then we enter one of the most interesting and technical sections in GT racing, which is the mountain section at Bathurst, Mount Panorama itself. We are late on the brakes. You want to keep yourself nice and wide. Visit New South Wales. New South Wales indeed, folks. Tight, nice left-hander, double apex left-hander through the Audi advertising. Not as iconic as what's going to come up later. We're going to take these double right even further up. We are gaining so much altitude right now. A little dip, flick, off the wall. Get as close as you can, ready for the very, very fast left-hander with all of that lovely sand to ruin your time. Skyline, drop down, right, left, right. He's looking, it looks so goddamn easy. Go through Shannon's, preparing for one of the most important hairpins in motorsport. The Bentley left-hander at Bathurst, down to first gear, second on the accelerator. Getting up to speed. What's it going to be? He's looking very, very rapid. We've got a very good delta for him on the crest. Pulls over to the left to set up for that very fast kink on the right. It's pretty much flat out for most of these folks into the very hard braking zone. A long blind chicane, that right hander being so pivotal. Really the last acceleration you're going to get out of the lap. And it's all about not cocking it up on the last corner. Lovely advertisement for Fanatec Podium. Going across the line with a 2 minutes .21. That is one hell of a lap. And it's going to be nigh impossible for anyone that doesn't absolutely hit everything perfect to beat that lap time from Thomas Jack. Gentlemen, how do you think it went?
Yeah, it was a really clean lap from Tom. Basically what you expect from him, even in clean air without any slipstreams. That's a mega lap.
Yeah, the thing about that McLaren, especially at this track, is you're gonna see it's just crazy in the straights. I think there was some ballast added back on, or added some more ballast onto that car because of how crazy it was on that straight. But you're saying it might be unbeatable, but Matt's Linham is still right there.
Yeah, just 500ths off. Let me get those timings up for you so you can see their first lap. 0.057 in the same car. That is ungodly. And it's all that first sector that Thomas Jack had the advantage in. They are so close. Look at that third sector time, gentlemen. 5 thousandths faster for Linham. And it looks like he's actually improving this lap as well. So that we can see that time go down, down, down. As you can see on the right-hand side of our screen, as folks come around for their additional laps, there is some balance of performance input. So you can see that the McLarens have been given quite a hefty amount of ballast. It's like having a small pit bull sitting in your passenger seat. About 28 kilos. It's going to be absolutely... it just adds a bit of fun, doesn't it? When we don't know what's exactly going to happen every single race and it gets a little bit shifted up. Speaking of absolutely godly laps, let's get back to this because Maz Linham is absolutely storming it down the back straight. He is potentially, if he can get 1 or 2 more perfect corners, he might take that pole position from Thomas Jack. And that's going to be a very interesting thing to happen. Speaking of interesting, there's a yellow flag popped up, but it looks like it was just a brief little wiggle from Mr. Scott. Mazda yet down a couple of hundreds. He is pretty much bang on his previous lap time. Yeah, that is very, very close to his previous, and he's yeah, look, but as I said earlier, Robin Moe joint lead with Kovacs in the Nissan. A car not favoured at Mount Panorama, but if there is any gentleman that I can think of that can put this into a really good points-paying position this week, it would be Robin Moe. Someone who very, very skilled driver, very, very interesting driver, absolutely gorgeous livery. Let's have a look at that beauty.
Sorry to interrupt. We have a really great quali lap from the BMW driver. It was really close to taking P1.
I've only just seen that, yeah. If we go back to the times again, you can see that that is 5 thousandths. Just going to give that the air it deserves. 5 thousandths off the time of Thomas Jack. That is we can only really describe that as ungodly. That is absolutely astonishing how good that is. And yeah, the top 3 separated by not even a tenth. It's going to be a very, very fun. If they can keep that for race pace, being that close, we are going to have an hour of incredibly enjoyable racing. Let's have a look. Yeah, weather should be lovely and toasty the whole way. Nice and easy to get temperature into the tyres. Robin Moe about to improve by a tenth or so. Not enough to gain him another position, but Speaking of improving, I don't want to jinx it just yet, but it looks like Thomas Jack is actually improving on his time by about a tenth. But we'll have a look at that closer to the end of it because he's still got the mountain section to go. Let's have a look how it's going further down. We've got our pole position in the bronze, Mr. Thomas Curtis, who's currently kind of in a qualifying pitch battle with Gottlieb, who are very close to each other for 17th, and he's just jumped up 3 spaces with about half-second improvement on his previous lap times. That is all okay. Some of our bronze drivers just getting some good banker laps in, making sure that they are not getting punished too hard for not having a solid lap in. But everyone is out on track right now. No one's sitting in the pits. Everyone doing what they can. How about yourselves, gentlemen? Anything you are looking forward to for this race? Any battles you want to see?
Best thing that I can say is it's always going to be chaos. It's Bathurst. When in doubt, it's chaos. That's like basically the nature of the track. So we're going to see what can happen. Mountain section always going to throw a curveball in somebody's race. So we shall see what happens.
Exactly. It's gonna be a really great race, I hope, with lots of overtakes, and let's hope not many crashes, because that can throw another curve into anyone's strategy for this, as we have 2 mandatory pit stops.
And with that 5-minute warning for everyone kind of get the last laps in, I was looking at Thomas Jack being about a 10th up. I may have jinxed it, but he did do, just only about 17 hundredths slower. Kind of that last corner section, as I said, getting the last acceleration zones out of the track. They're very short but very impactful. You get a little bit lost in those, a little bit off the throttle. Maybe the traction control comes in, cuts out a little bit. You are going to lose those last couple of attempts, and it looks like if that didn't happen, a little wiggle up there coming to the left-hand side. Who is that? That is Daniel Scott, representing the north of the British Isles. And have an absolutely lovely time today. Not really going to be used to this kind of weather for him, so we'll see how that goes. Further down the field, let's have a look. The 111 of Mansus in the LIU car was looking to be up a few tenths, but it looks like he's had a bad exit out of that second to last turn. It's cost him kind of dearly there. Not many people running faster than their current fastest, so currently, from what you can see on the side of your screen, that's looking like it's going to be it. However, I say that, and Mr. Ushausen coming over the finish line, jumping up a good handful of spaces with an 8/10 improvement on his previous lap, putting himself well up in the middle of the field. It's looking good for him. See what else is going on. Mr. Frederick in the Bontley for Oink Motorsport.
Mr. Thomas Jack is just finishing his lap. Let's see what he can do.
And he's coming around the last corner. Can he get the good exit again? He's a 10th up coming into that corner. And he's pretty much bang on his previous best times. He is keeping a 10th and a half up the entire race. And those last couple of corners are just proving slightly difficult for him to really get right, to get some good time. But for the race for pole, we have Thomas Shamatat in the West Competition Racing BMW representing Germany. 2 minutes left. This is going to be go time for him. He might, if he's got fuel for another lap, he gets one more, but if he has to pit for this after this, he has not got the option. Let's get on the wonderful driver camera. As we can see the movements, get that wheel cranked left then right, strain it up again. Getting throttle up here is so important. Again, he was a 10th and a half up before that section. He's now only 700ths, but he just needs 100 faster, and it's pole position. There it is, Thomas Shamatat. Absolutely beautiful lap. Thomas Jack needs to really retaliate now. if he wants to keep that pole position for him and get a really good start to get back up into points. But number 78 BMW, our new pole sitter for Bathurst. But now we've talked about our resident Scottish hero in the sister wins Kopasuka Racing, along with James Andrews, both of which will be hoping to get a good points haul and a good showing for the team. Is coming round about 4 tenths. We'll see what it's like when you get to this last corner. You can get all the time you want. You're 4 tenths up coming into this section. Do you gain? Do you lose? How's the traction? Oh, the traction is not good. He loses the back end just a little bit. That is severely going to hamper him. Does he have enough fuel for one more lap? Does he have enough tyres for one more lap? We will see in about 30 seconds when they start flying across. Let us have a look what's going on. And Tomaszak coming around for his last lap. We started with him. We should probably finish with him. We'll see how it goes. One last lap for the number 13. And we'll have my wonderful gentleman with me today. Will keep us up to date, hopefully, with the other times as people start coming across for their final laps. 3, 2, 1. This is it. Make your lap count. You do not have another one, gentlemen. I hope you all packed good tyres. Maudsley 2 tenths up. We've got Mr. B, who's 3 tenths up on his current best time. Jay Baker 1 second up on his best time. He moves up into 20th for the checkered flag. Falls for him. Mike Benke, a 2:01 checkered flag. Maudsley 2:0.8 checkered flag. Times will start coming down. This is the optimum track conditions. There is no wind. It is all driver. Tomaszak touches the wall. That hasn't slowed him down though. It's only a 10th down from his best lap. And there it is again. Oh, and he has absolutely lost it into the mountain section. Hit some walls. That is not going to be what he wanted to see at the end of his qualifying. Going into the mountain section again is Oosthausen, who's lost it again in the same place. Maybe they just ran on their tyres a little bit too long. Chris B and the Flyboys, 909 Porsche, coming around half a second up. This could easily be 3-4 positions when he crosses the line. It's 5. He goes into P9, pushing Oosthausen out of the top 10 positions. We have Mantis Luznas coming over. He's a couple of tenths up as well. But like I said, it's all about that last couple of sections. He is losing time rapidly coming down here. He's not had a good exit out of Bentley. But he is going to absolutely... Oh, he's gained a load of time in the last corner. 3 tenths up now on his best. That's possibly going to put him into P8. P8, P9, pushing Udadorp out of the top 10. Let's see how good his exit is at the final corner. It's not losing time, but it's not gaining it. P9 with one last car. We have James Andrews coming around. He was in 16. He will finish it in 14th. He will actually finish just above, 2 places above his teammate Daniel Scott. They will be behind each other for it. Ready to go. So, and the reminder for the drivers that this is going to be 2 mandatory pit stops. When do you folks think that we're going to have those pit stops? Any idea, gentlemen?
It's really difficult to say. It's basically 3 quali sessions for each and every one of them. Damage could play a big part in the strategy, so either they're gonna separate it into 3 equal parts, or we might see some wild ideas from the guys on the track.
Very nice.
Yeah, all I can say is just be ready for some full send never doubts, because this is going to be like an early 2000s F1 race where everyone is pushing to all hell and there's no stopping.
So we'll run down your top 10 finishers. We have Thomas Shamatat, Thomas Jack, Mats Linham, Martin Kovacs, Sam Maudsley, Robin Moe, Jameek Smith, Mike Benke, the only silver driver in the top 10, Mantis Luzanas, and Chris B rounding out in the 909, pushing out both Udadorp and Oosthausen, who are in the top 10 for so long. Well, I can see that we've got a decent amount of people in the chat right now. Who has who? Pop down some numbers of the drivers that you can see on the left-hand side of your screen. We'll see who wins. We'll see who gets who's got that psychic crystal ball, and maybe Ferrari could use your help next season if you've got that. Well, 1 minute 10 to start. I'm going to crack open a drink, and I'm going to get ready for what can only be one of the most entertaining hours of sim racing outside of when you get paid for it. Any predictions, gentlemen? Who is your number 1 seed going to be at the end of this 1 hour?
Well, for Platinum, I think it's going to be a really close battle between the top 3. Kovacs might interfere with their plans, and who knows, maybe Mo might gain some speed in the race. Maybe quali setup isn't that good in the Nissan, so anything can happen. It's the mountain.
And Mr. Randall, who have you got?
I'm gonna have to go with the safest option, which is Tom. I drove some laps with him earlier in the week, and that car he's running a zero wing setup. It's scary. It's just scary. He can make so much time in the straights, so I don't know what might happen, but I can say bet on Thomas.
It's probably a safe bet. What we'll do for you is we will keep it on our pole sitter. We'll keep it on that 78 BMW. That absolutely gorgeous machine as they go around the mountain for their formation lap. It's 2:03 local time right now. It is 7:53 UK time for the stream. We will be finishing this off just before 9 o'clock. Perfect for everyone to disappear and enjoy another week at work. The next hour, let's forget about the real world, because the racing's real, the people are real, and this is going to be one hell of an hour. Enjoy the slow climb. But the one thing I do want to talk about just before this race is Mr. Mike Benke up here with the Platinum drivers, putting in a frankly ludicrous qualifying lap. Well above what his station says it should be, but I think he's a bit of a dark horse. The V12 Aston, couple of really long straights on this track. It is known as a bit of a cult classic there. Normally a stoic GT4 driver for our endurance races, as well as when we do the mixed split series. I kind of have him with dark horse for Benke actually taking some positions off some of these Platinum drivers like Jameek and Robin Moe, maybe even Maudsley, but that's a battle of the Bentleys, and that is something that I really do want to happen. So,
and coming from experience, having that V12 ahead of you, it sucks. It really sucks. I've had entire races ruined by somebody who I will not name, but is on the server, who has just cornered me on Hungaroring with that car.
that's going to be an absolutely interesting one. Not to forget our other silver drivers. There's Udadorp and Oosthausen are going to be battling it out round after round. And our bronze drivers, we've got Curtis, Schlobam and Baker and Ashter that are going to be lining up side by side as like a mini front rows for the bronze class. That's going to be a fun one as well. But we are, for the first lap or so, we are going to be with our front runners. We are going to let them all stack up, get into formation. Doesn't look like any sign of a change of conditions upcoming. The zero wind looking incredibly nice for them as well. No tailwind, no headwind, just pure driver skill and setup. And as they come round those last corners, yeah, the 78 being quite a bit further ahead. Getting some temperature into the tyres. But they're going to come around this last corner. And for probably my last time for this year for RP, I am going to get to call one of my favourite phrases. They're locked at 70. The line is here. And we are racing at Mount Panorama. 1 hour to go. We'll see who is left at the end of it and where they are standing. And there is a little touch as Mads Lindholm comes up on the inside of Thomas Jack. Let's go further back down to see this group, as it looks like the 78 is going to get clear air with this group of 5 very, very good drivers. A little bit of a bump draft from Robin Moore, Thomas Jack on the inside. Better give some space because this could get nasty. He's looking very nice and clean. Got that lovely pink pig in the middle of everything. Hopefully he's not going to squeal right now. Everything is looking clean up and down. They are very, very skilled drivers. We're looking at this, and I do not know what is happening to my standings at the side there. It looks like there are some technical glitches with Formula 1 media that we're not going to talk about right there. That is absolutely okay. But yeah, coming up through the mountain section, or remove that it's a little bit squirrely up the top. It's going to be a bit dangerous to chase him through Skyline because that car does not like staying straight. Let's have a look. See the march of the pink monster behind him coming down the hill. We are going to hit Bentley soon enough, and it is going to be all about that sprint.
And we have a crash after sunset. It's Frederick Shop.
Oh, big spin on it as well. It is not pretty. He is all turned around. Luckily, no one else gets collected. So we're going to be back with the action. He might have to... Luckily, we've got 2 pit stops, so he can get a bit of extra repair time done. But hopefully, it's not going to affect his pace too much. But a lot of front-end damage on this track can be brutal.
And that incident also involved the leader of, or the person on pole position from AM, as he was slow and Showbloom didn't notice him and had to dodge, and that's why he spun into the wall.
And that would explain why he's dropped quite a few positions. First lap times coming in, we are looking for a doozy. Now, race pace is looking at about a mid 207 to low 208 is what you want to be aiming for on fresh tyres and good fuel. Looking like Mads Lindholm, Thomas Shamatat and Robin Moe getting in there. Thomas Jack a little bit slow, but as you saw, he did get a little bit bounced on that. We are going to start seeing some of these lap times fall as well, as everyone starts getting a bit more comfortable. You can start figuring out who you're racing with, what your plan is, and I reckon we're going to see some very different pit stop strategies going forward. So I am currently predicting, personally, that we're going to see some people try and go for a really cheeky early pit stop. Maybe they're on low fuel right now. It would explain why the 78 has kind of just barreled itself away. We've let him half a second behind. Looking for some close battles. Let's have a look.
And it seems in silver, after the start, the biggest loser currently are biggest losers are Uderdorp and Daniel Scott, as they have lost many positions.
Yeah, have a look at Udadorp. Yeah, it was in that that like kind of like second, third position with Oosthausen, and it's kind of dropped like 3 or 4 positions back, but is a couple of tenths below. Speaking of Daniel Scott, it looks like we just missed it, but he did just get past Gottlieb on the long straight. Can he hold the position through the braking zone? It's gonna be that long roaring straight from 1 to 2. Udadorp in the same kind of position, being right up against Scott's teammate Andrews. It's going to be a close one, but from Robin Moe backwards, we have Kovac, Smith, Maudsley, Benk, and B, who are all within a second of each other, even including Oosthausen and Luizinas in that as well. So there is a long train of cars that are going to get some incredible slipstream. And it looks like, yeah, the times have fallen like they're definitely on low fuel running. No one is trying to do like a cheeky like double splash and dash towards the end. They have kind of pretty much a second off qualifying pace all down the line.
We have a really interesting battle, and I think it just dissipated. Andrews and Uderdorp have been fighting, and Andrews has lost grip for a while and lost another position, I think.
Yeah, we just saw that. We saw Marlowe get him at the start of the mountain section, and he's got looked right behind him. These platinum drivers all over him. That he should be holding his own. I've heard a lot of talk from the paddock that Andrews has been incredibly fast around this track, like a second faster. However, they are coming up to a red flag. Luizinas the wrong way out of Skyline. Let's have a look what happened there, shall we? What are we looking at here? Don't know why it's given me this. That's an interesting one there. Oh, here we go. It's at the back end. I don't know why it went. Let's see. Let's change this. That's absolutely fine. That is just it being a bit strange. But Kovacs and Robin Moe, people who are very well known to each other. A couple of attempts. But speaking of attempts, Mads Lindholm catching right up with Shemiatat. And the battles are like they are getting a bit more dispersed. It looks like there might have been some closeness in the mountain that people weren't quite comfortable with, but these two are going to fight.
And we have some people in the pits. It's Akel just coming out of the pits, and the leaders have already caught him, and some of them overtaken. Yeah, so that's gonna be another, let's say, mobile chicane on the track, being blue flagged.
Speaking of mobile chicane, Mads Lindholm, oh, the big touch! And Thomas Jack is going to pounce on that. Definitely an optimistic move by the 666 McLaren of Lindholm. But it's kind of allowed Thomas Jack, the small PP13, to really get back up in that pack. And now we've got a top 5 that I was very excited for at the start. Are now all within about 2.5 seconds of the leader. It is going to be impressive. And they have a large 2-second gap down to 6th place. Daniel Scott looks like he's just got Gottlieb back in the start of the mountain. He'll hopefully start catching up with the car in front. He's got 3.5 seconds to gain. He is averaging about a second lap faster. So if he can keep that going, it will look very nice for him by the end of it. Oh, big crash! Oosthausen and CB and potentially one other looks like got caught up in that. Let's have a look.
That was the back marker that had just come out of the pit lane. He got caught up in that incident there.
Did they try and go around him in the Skyline? Did he spin it out? He slowed right up. He brake checked the race leaders. That is going to be looked at quite harshly by the stewards after the race, I assume. And I assume that because I am one. Thomas Jack in first and Spiedler very close. Thomas Jack got the position while we were looking at it. Let's see if we can see what happened there. It's coming up to him. Goes out to the right-hand side. No defensive positioning at all. I don't think the BMW wants to fight with the much faster in class McLaren right now. That is absolutely beautiful.
There is definitely going to be a penalty and a big penalty point.
Yeah, we'll keep you updated for the penalty points when they have the next race, but that is Mistake Hill. Now we have Ashton in the had a bit of an oversteer coming out of the corner on the throttle and kind of going a bit mental. And then we have Mr. B, Flyboys on the pits. Let's have a, is there any close battles? And we have Daniel Scott and Oosthausen both coming into the pits at the same time. Now, they are racing for position. And this is going to be a very interesting one, as they are right next to each other. So, this is where we're going to see the difference in strategy. And although there is some close racing up in the lead, which we will get to you shortly, this is kind of the interesting part of this race. Wow.
Would like to note one thing. Oosthuizen is in the pits due to the damage caused by the incident, so he's probably going to be a little bit longer than anybody else right now.
That is...
Exactly, and we can only wonder if Daniel had some damage or if that is a scheduled pit stop for him.
Yeah, it does seem early for some of these front runners, but he might be trying to get an undercut. Might be running low fuel to try and gain some positions at the start, which is a very valid strategy right now. Into that, so we'll get on the wing of... Oh, the bounce means he's going, and he clips right through us, as is tradition in the pit stops. Oosthausen's got some repairs done and is going off on one. Daniel Scott still stationary, so we'll see what's happening with him soon. However, speaking of stationary, someone that definitely isn't right now is Thomas Jack. After getting the lead after the contact between the 78 and the 666, he has gained a 1.1 second gap in just a lap or so. He is barreling it away, and as we come round our 5th lap of the race, we're 10 minutes down, and it is looking like a really interesting strategic race. Speaking of strategic, something that isn't probably part of the strategy is smashing through those Pirelli boards and getting debris all over the track. As Isaac Nilsson is in the wall. I don't know if he's lost control of the vehicle, if his brakes have failed him, but he is constantly going left and forward. I think that might be a technical issue. And I can only hope that fixes itself shortly. Yeah, back to pits. That is very, very safe and reasonable action to take. And as we see it, we've got Curtis taking Wolrak. It looks to be, is that on the back straight or is that on... looks to be on the back, much longer back straight coming up to the... Oh no, on the main straight, that 1 to 2 straight coming up to the mountain section, getting up.
Matt is off.
Matt Slim's in the wall at the J-Car wall, keeping it pinned. Let's have a look what happened. Touches the wall a little bit, maybe a little bit too much curve. What happens here? On the curb, he's a little bit wingly. Oh, and he just oversteer. Can't get the car slowed down.
To the pits.
And that might be a big retirement for Mats Linham, which is very disappointing for the Platinum battle that we have this season, as he was right up in there. But the battle for Platinum right now, first position, is between these two gentlemen. It is Robin Moe, the number 3 Nissan, Good Smile Racing, with the... an abomination of a livery, if I'm going to be fair to him. It's incredibly anime and not something that's potentially TV appropriate, depending on what's on there. You see the Weebury go past, and Martin Kovacs in the Pink Pig 861, representing Eastern Europe as a whole for our series. And then 4 seconds behind them, very similar racing position, is Maudsley and Smith. This is the battle of the Boatleys. These two gentlemen, the 107, the 117, are going to absolutely rip it on every single straight line and potentially not much else. No, they're both absolutely amazing drivers, and it'll be a fun battle to see them after the pit stops. They probably just want to get to that first pit stop and not try and fight each other too much. And behind them is, once again, Mike Benkin, the V12 Performance. So it's our 3 big gas guzzly boys are all going to be coming through the mountain. Rock and stone, indeed. Now, the battle for third is getting even closer. There is only a 10th between them. And doing that through the mountain section is risky. Let's get a little interior camera on Kovacs so we can see how close he is riding the bumper of Robin Moe. Down the hill to Bentley Corner. We're going to get a lovely little turn around. See how close it is. However, I've just been seeing that there is... Oh, this is what we can see right now on the replay, and oh, very, very dangerous indeed coming across the track like that. There's a red, it would have been yellow flags for everyone to see, slowing down, and can't be making non-obvious moves like that. Yellow flag for Wallrack has gone into the wall after Skyline. We'll give it a few seconds and we'll see what that looks like. There we go. Coming over.
Robin Moe dives into the pit lane.
Very nice. We'll get to that. And yeah, he just misses the braking. And oh, a big rear damage. That is not going to be what Benjamin Wallrack wants. And yeah, as my colleague says, Robin Moe, first of that front-running pack in the pits. He's going to drop quite a few positions. And that is... So see where he ends up. See where everyone else ends up around him. But that has kind of given a bit of breathing room to Mr. Kovacs. He's going to be able to drive with not much worry. He's going to be able to kind of, you know, pick what he wants to do, save some tyres, maybe get an extra lap out. And another yellow flag for Gottlieb. Let's just see what happened there again. They're coming on the back straight, ready for the kink. Are we going to see it on this, or is the camera operator not going to be playing ball with me today? No, I did forget his wedding anniversary, so that kind of makes sense on that. But it looks like he's lost the back end a little bit there, so not too much of a worry. These Bentleys are the closest battle we have right now, and there's a yellow flag again for Aryan Ashter. We'll give it a few seconds to see what happened there.
There was a weird incident there where I think Gottlieb's incident caused another incident.
Yeah, I think that looks about right. Oh, and he's just struggling to get it back on. Maybe the traction control, he's battered and bruised. Maybe a little bit of the electronics are scuffed on that car, but it's not looking like you want it to. There you go. Got a very close battle. We've got the two Kopasuka cars now driving together. We saw. Oh, is it the two? Oh no, it's Udadop as well. Is he in? Oh, it is the Kopasuka cars, but Daniel Scott is currently a lap down after pit stopping. So he is getting a bit of a tow from his teammate to try and keep the 158 Porsche of looked behind. That is all absolutely okay for us, but we're gonna hopefully get some close racing after the front runners all come in for their pits. There was a good chance that Robin Moe was trying to go for the undercut, but he is now a decent chunk behind from where it is, from the front runners again. He's putting in some good laps. Last lap was a 2:03.2 on his first full lap out of the pits. But Thomas Jack's last lap was a 2:08. That is absolutely sublime. As Jay Baker comes into the pits as well, freeing up Frederick Schlubum to take the bronze lead. You have a couple of retirees, the 909 of CB, the 66 of Siddons, both look like they've retired. And Nilsson actually got into the pit. Where is Nilsson? Nilsson very slowly coming up the hill. Probably does need to come in for some repairs on that pit stop when they take it. But maybe this is going to be our closest on track. We have one of the top 3 silver drivers right now being absolutely hounded into the skyline. And again, that blue flag car of his teammate in front of him. They might be doing team orders right now to not really go for the overtake. And when they do, they're going to hope that Daniel Scott can give as much of an advantage to his teammate as possible for that. Do you think that's fair, lads?
Yeah, it could happen. He just needs to be clean with it and not to impede the driver behind. I'm talking about Daniel, as he is getting blue flagged. He doesn't need to move away from the racing line, but he cannot defend his position.
Yeah, very important to say. Yeah, he cannot defend his position, but it does not give Look the right to dive bomb him down the inside. So if they
And
can time
speaking
it,
of going fast, sorry to interrupt you, but Uderdorp gained 2.5 seconds on Benki this last lap, and they're both in the pits now.
That is going to be interesting. So that is our 2 front runners for the pits. Who has now entered the pits? Is that is that Jay Andrew as well? So that is all of our front 3 silver drivers going into the pits at the same time. As you can see, we got Udop in the lovely pink and blue. We've got Andrews just overtaking Benke, whose pit box is a bit further back. Now, this, I think, is fair to say the first time we're going to see where the strategy of this race can really come into it. Because if Andrews is literally just a little bit of fuel, just tyres, and has fueled up for 2 stints, he is going to get out way quicker than the other 2 drivers and can potentially make up 10 or so seconds. But speaking of way quicker than the other drivers, Mike Benke might have been on that plan all along, as he's going to get the position back. He's going to keep that position from Udadorp. And as they come out of the pits with a yellow flag at the top of the skyline for Benjamin Walrack, let's see if we can figure out what caused that yellow flag, shall we, gentlemen? Oh, tank slapper, snap over steer, but not a big impact, so it kept it going, which is very, very impressive indeed from the Helios Community Racing representative. Overall, Ivan, it's been a very clean race so far for the first 20 minutes. Is this what you kind of were expecting, or were you expecting a bit more carnage in the mountain?
Honestly, I was expecting a bit more carnage, especially in the first 2 laps, but even this is good because we have some decent battles. The Bentleys are really close to each other. They're also now pitting in, so that's probably gonna be a battle to watch until the end. Benke and Uderdorp probably fighting for the win in the silver category, and even in our platinum division. I think this still isn't a game over type of thing. I think even Kovacs and Shemaitat have a chance, because one little mistake can ruin everything. So people need to keep the focus up and push on to try and achieve what they want.
Very, very nice.
I would just like to note that both of our boats are in the pit lane.
Yeah, we are.
So
Yeah.
both of them are now in pitting. And Robin passes them both.
Oh, and Jameek Smith does get out in front, which is going to be very important for the next stage of this race. Now, you mentioned Robin Moe. I heard you had something about the Good Smile Racing team strategy for this race.
So, I think that Robin pulled off a really good idea with pitting earlier here, mostly because of the fact that right at the time when he pit, he was getting into a battle. He pulled out of that battle, and he's making it so that he doesn't lose time being just stuck behind people, or getting like pushed on and making a mistake. And also, he's been in clean air for the past like almost 3 to 4 laps, which around here is a lot. And that's gonna definitely help him a lot. Trying to keep in front of Kovacs as Tom Jack pits.
Well, Jack in the pits, one of our perennial front runners in RP Series, and that has caused a chain reaction with the other 2 top drivers both also coming into the pits. So, with Wolrack again off, we're gonna see him try not to interrupt the racing, and that is very, very good from him. But here is where it is interesting. With our other 3 front runners in the pits, this is going to be an absolute testament to how spot on Robin Moe's strategy was for this first stint. He is being currently held up by some blue flag racing, but he's not going to impede them, and they're not going to impede him, so it's all good for him. He has a wonderful boat in front of him, big amount of air being pushed out of the way for him, and currently none of the pit lane entrants are moving. Now, Thomas Jack is now exiting the pits, but has he been spooked by the occurrence of Robin Moe? He's up on the road. He is absolutely loving that. Thomas Jack is going to have about a 6 to 7 second gap from anyone that is fighting him for position. as the gentleman in front of him, 20 seconds up the road, has not pitted yet, the MBD representative. Thomas Jack seems to be really comfortable on this track, folks. I did speak to him before. He agreed for that initial run in qualifying for us to, spend some time on in his passenger seat. Yeah, it's clean racing. Haven't really seen anything majorly wrong. Has anyone else noticed any drivers really comfortable with the track at all? Anyone that's been looking really good to them so far?
I do have to say, Robin right now is. Oh, sorry. Robin right now is looking very good. He's been looking very comfortable, and with his pit cycle, he even got up to second now. He's in net second place, so that is very important to his race right now, as Kovacs gets held up.
Yeah, currently up 3 spots. You're gonna sing the praises of Udadorp, Ivan. He's been having a great race.
Exactly. From having that bad start, he regained P2 in the silver class and is chasing down Benki, who is getting a little slipstream help on the big straights from the Bentley boys in front. And while we were watching all of this, Linham has returned back to the track, but he did have a big off into T1 where he, I would assume, completely missed his braking point and went straight and did a Austin Powers return to the track, and he's currently climbing up the mountain in P20.
Very nice. As we speak about climbing positions, Kovacs retaking 4th position, net 3rd. He's going to hope that the lovely Bentley behind him on this straight is going to be able to keep the BMW behind up the mountain section, and that should give him a much bigger gap. Let's see how that goes, because there is not many. There's not much time for Thomas Shamatat to actually get that position, and they're in the mountain section now already. We'll see how Kovacs can grow that gap. There is a 8-second gap between Thomas Jack and Robin Moe, a 3.5-second gap between Robin and Kovacs, and then it's a couple of seconds back through to Shimatat. Sorry. And the Bentleys are still within a few tenths of each other. This will hopefully not change, but there is a yellow flag for Mr. Daniel Scott in Bentley corner. We'll let him drive off and we will see what is happening to him. It is down through Shannon, past the lovely green barricade, up the hill, and he just doesn't get the angle right into the tyre barrier. At least he's kept the right way.
We almost had a big crash at the Dipper. There was someone spun around.
As we just...
Gottlieb.
We got on board with Gottlieb back to front. Let's see what happened to him as well. Big lost it out of Skyline. Not enjoying that at all. That is not going to be where he wants. And he has to just sit there waiting for so many cars to get through. Speaking of so many cars, that is... again, the Bentley being an absolute house. He's now got 3 seconds to the 78 BMW. He is really helping Kovacs, isn't he? It was a second out of the pit stops between the Bentley and Shimatat and Kovacs, and that is 3 seconds. That is absolutely impressive. Here we go. Again, the Bentley's coming over the line. They are the closest racing, and the number 158 is in the pits, which is going to give no longer net first, actual first position to Thomas Jack now. As he comes up through this glorious mountain section, he has a 8-second gap to the car in second place, and I reckon he's going to maintain that for this whole second stint, and then it is all down to those final pit stops to see what happens.
All it takes is one missed pit box for this race to be wide open.
One missed pit box, or even we've seen a few of the people going down the hill, and in Bentley again, Daniel Scott is currently facing the right way, but he is not having the time of it. Looks like that is the end of his race. Yeah, that is. He has unfortunately had to retire the car. It looks like too much damage. Like we can't get you the replay of that, unfortunately, folks. We can give you some beautiful Bentley action as always. There we go. Now 3 attempts coming out of Bentley corner. Let's go on the wing of Jameek Smith's M Sport Bentley 107 in the platinum category. Now, Maudsley behind him is doing some really good best sectors right now. There is 2 attempts between them. The drag, the kink, the braking. We've saw in qualifying over and over again. You can lose so much time in these last 3 corners. But no, I think Maudsley has understood that it is... Oh, and a slow Slowman kind of gives Jameek a little bit of a spook there. He's on the racing line, slowing down to let them through, but that is not what they want when they're battling so closely. But now we do have 3 Bentleys in a row. Up towards the mountain.
Something to note, Robin Moe has taken over half a second out of Thomas Jack on that last lap.
That is absolutely incredible. Yeah, that is 6 tenths quicker on that last lap. And doesn't have as fresh tyres as he would have a while ago, but we are. Let's have a look. This wonderful, wonderful camera angle where we can see Maudsley up the mountain in the Bentley, enjoying time. We'll give you a nice clean view of this, and you can just see nothing in his mirror at all. Nothing to worry about. Just him, a machine, and a similar machine in front. But that is a very, very sketchy skyline. He's going to have to hold it together. Keep those tyres working. He's losing time into Bentley itself, but can he gain some time on traction? And I think that small mistake, it's just so easy to let that mistake cascade into losing a few tenths per lap. And now he's not going to have as much top speed at the end of it, and we're going to hopefully see a bit of close racing from them in a second. However, we have some very interesting close racing from Mike Benke and Frederick Schlobum. It's huge gaps up and down the track right now.
Can we get a confirmation that Showbloom has not pit yet?
Let's have a
That's
look.
correct. Problem is doing the long game, it seems.
Yeah, there is 0 pits on him. He started in 19th, currently running in 7th. But yeah, they are side by side. Yeah. Oh, and he's thought he was going to try and stick it around the outside there, but he thinks better of it, backs out, lets the faster class go ahead. It's not his race. He is currently in P1, trying to get as much time. But P2 of his class has just had a big spin. Let's see what happened to him. Oh, goes wide into Skyline, and then
doesn't look good.
Skyline is enjoying it. Bit of bumpiness, doesn't get on the... Oh, and a big hit, but he's turned the right way. Crash structure at the front of these GT3s is incredible. Incredibly safe, but incredibly resilient as well. Speaking of resilient, Thomas Shamatat was first... Had a little bit of unluckiness in the pit stops, didn't quite get it, but has just put in a 2-minute 5:05. That is the fastest lap of this race by a large margin, and a really good qualifying lap as well in race trim. Now he's lost a few temps on that last straight to Kovacs, but BMW should be able to catch up soon. But speaking of catching up, Udadop, silver driver, and again, as we can see, Schlobum, a very experienced driver. knows that it's not a bronze class that's coming up on him. He doesn't need to worry. He has over a minute to the car in class behind him, and the second he wants to come into the pits, which is right now, he is gonna have a load of time because the car behind him is also in the pits right now. So he is going to be. There you can see it. That is the difference between being lapped. Is about 5 or 6 pit boxes right now. It is an impressive sight to see it that close. Speaking of close racing, we'll check in with the Bontley boys. Sam and Jameek enjoying their kinship, their bromance in the Bentleys. Kind of like our Lando Norris and Carlos Sainz right now. Just enjoying life.
And interestingly enough, Matt Slinham is in the pits for the first time this race.
Mance Linham also getting the pit. So he's coming in the pits for this, for his... this would be his... I think this is... Yeah. No, he has been in the pit before. I think it was a back garage. I don't know if it counts for him. But yeah, he's going to enjoy that pit stop. Going to take a quick break, get himself all limbered up for potentially his final stint, which will be a long one. And here we go. Our Thomas and our Martin. They're going to enjoy this little lap with them. How about we go on board with the 78 BMW, folks, for a lap chasing a Porsche round the mountain.
Robin Moe is in the pits.
Should be his, second and last pit stop. So he's going to go for a very long stint at the end of this.
He has been putting in some very strong laps, so it wouldn't surprise me if he can close the gap to Thomas during this next stint.
I think the real question is for him, is the undercut this early going to work when potentially Thomas Jack might not even pit for the next 10, 15 minutes and be on incredibly fresh tyres for the last section. But as we saw, Chametat is hitting the wall a little bit close, not able to quite follow closely.
And we have a really damaged Ferrari going down the back straight. He even took out some polyester boards. It is Ashton, the number 10 Ferrari.
Let's have a look. The number 10 Ferrari, what's it looking at? Ashton going to be absolutely enjoying his time. Let's get it on TV for us all. So this will stick us on with our race leader for a little bit, just to keep him in the public
78
camera.
is really close to Kovacs here, going for a move. Oh.
We're gonna follow this battle for a while. Let's hope we're gonna see some decent defending and also attacking. Also, our second Bentley has entered the pits, so this time a different strategy than the other Bentley from Smith. Let's see how that's gonna pan out.
What do you think about Mo's strategy here, there, Iceman?
It could be interesting because from experience that Nissan does like to shred tires, so maybe he fueled it up a little bit to gain more stability. Ooh, that was really
That was
close
really close.
from the BMW driver. And yeah, going back to Mo, we saw that in the first stint, that mega undercut that he did gain him like 4 positions or similar. Taking into account also that Linham did have a big incident, so that was
Definitely.
basically a free position. But and as we see Kovacs going into the pits,
This will
so
really show us
different
where it's gonna
strategies.
come
Yeah,
out. Yeah.
seems everyone has decided let's do similar in the first stint and bounce on the second one.
Absolutely perfect. So it's gonna come down to potentially the last pit stops for a lot of these people. Also, the Bentley of Jameek is also in the pits. I see where he comes out in regards to his brother Bentley. And then we also have Udadorp joining them as well for his second pit stop.
One thing that might help Kovacs here is depending on when he gets dropped. He is right at the pit exit. He does not have to wait at all to get back onto the power.
Oh, helicopters. Yes, takes a bit of extra time on the in, but it means he's got less time with new tyres cooling down, which is very, very nice indeed. There's the drop, there's the go. So that is one of our front runners out on their last pit stop. He's going to have a blue flag car in front of him, so gives him a little bit of space and freedom. But that blue flag car is indicating to let him go. That is very, very nice of that gentleman. I don't know who it quite is. If anyone can see which number that was.
I think that is T. Curtis.
Curtis, yeah, one of our fronters in the bronze driver, knowing that although he might be in one of our, we say, slower classes, he's still they're all amazing drivers, and they all do some absolutely amazing things. Knowing that it's not his race, it's best not to get caught up, because if you don't want to be the guy that makes a mistake and ruins a really exciting race for someone. So I look up and down. We have some 10-second gaps, some 20-second gaps. Nothing quite close at the moment. This is kind of the holding period. So once we have all of these pit stops done, so that is Thomas Jack, Thomas Shamatat, Mike Bank, out of the top runners that haven't pitted, T. Curtis and Frederick Schloblum out of the top two for the bronze category also haven't pitted. Everyone else has done their mandatory pit stops.
Our silver leader is in the pits.
Yeah.
Let's see how Uderdorp is gonna catch him up now.
So Bank has stopped. Let's go on board with Uderdorp on the passenger on that lovely front dash camera of the McLaren. He is on the back straight already. Let's keep an eye on. This is where I wish I had picture-in-picture ability, because it would look really nice right now, but we will deal with what we've got. Remote just gone over him. Kovacs has gone over. So that's 2 more dropped. If one of my lovely co-casters here could let me know when Bank drops the tyres.
He has started from the pits. He's exiting the pits.
How close is it going to be? 2 seconds, 3 seconds gap, 4 seconds gap.
And pit exit.
3. And a good last corner from all of that. And you can see the beautiful V12 in front. He has made that strategy work really well for him. And now Udadorp has to make about 2.5 seconds up in 16 minutes. And if he can do that, he will take first position in the silver.
And it seems we have missed, but Jameek Smith was also in the pits, and he has gained 2 seconds on Maudsley.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, that That battle that was within half a second for the last 30 minutes, I would say, has now...
I think it was a battle from the start of the race.
That is very impressive for those two to drive that closely around here for that long. But yeah, that is now a 2-second gap. That is going to be all up to Maudsley to put in some absolutely perfect pace and be on par with Jamaica. But he has just gained half a second, so there might have been a little wiggle there from the 107. So yeah, we're now approaching 15 minutes left. We have 25% of this race to go. Everyone except for Frederick Schlobum and our two Thomases tangling at the top have made their second pit stops. There is a 11-second gap between them, and they have, and our second place Chemietat, the 78 BMW, has a 54-second gap to Robin Moe in third. Do any of you know how long a pit stop normally takes?
Close to a minute usually.
Yep.
Yeah.
1 minute, pretty much dead. Robin Moe's last pit stop was 59. Chemietat's was a 1:10. Time stopped being about 10 seconds longer, so potentially some more fuel. Now.
And Chemietat seems to be catching Tom. He's driving faster lap times currently.
Yeah.
Speaking of Tom, he dives in.
Goes into the pit. We'll have a gander on this, shall we? Let's have a look. So, is he going to follow him in? There we go. Diving in behind him is the other front-running Thomas. So, with these two gentlemen stopped, if I can humbly request once again that my wonderful team keep an eye on these two gentlemen and let me know when they drop two tyres. We're going to go on board with Robin Moe coming out of Bentley Corner in the Nissan and see how much time he can make. Because if Robin Moe can come out right behind the two in front, he is going to have done a worldie of a strategy. Coming in, that lovely tight left-hander on the throttle. Early throttle the Nissan lets you do. Into the last corner, 100, brake, 50, turn.
Is out of the pits. Chemietat has started to drive in the pit lane.
Chemietat may have started, but Robin Moe is on the pit straight and is 3-2 in front of him. Is he going to get a good exit? Perfect exit, using all of the runoff. And even Kovacs has got Chemietat. He has lost 2 positions in that pit stop. Was that a slow stop? Was he stopped for... No, that was a pretty much bang-on stop. Thomas Jack even stopped for a second longer. But it is now a very isolating fourth for Chemietat, a teammate of Robin Moe in another series for a global endurance that they do enjoy driving, and it's more and more of this community is getting involved in. Speaking of endurances, we do have one coming up that I will go over a little bit more at the end of the race. We will have interviews with our finishers. It looks like we're definitely going to get to hear the wonderful dry wit of Thomas Jack, unless something goes horribly wrong, and knowing me, I may have just jinxed it for him. But the closest racing we've got is Thomas Carter.
We just had a big wall hit by Kovacs.
Oh, that would explain why he just lost a second in the gap.
Let's
have
hope
a
that
look.
wasn't big damage.
Let's have a look for it. He goes very nicely down. Oh! 2 wheels up in the air, but he keeps the momentum going. That's probably why he only lost a second, but he's probably got quite a bit of damage on that chunky boy.
Another battle that's kind of important is in silver. Uderdorp is within a second of Mike Benke.
Are we going to see
Exactly, he's been putting great lap times, lap after lap.
Let's get on this interior camera, shall we? Actually, for this chase, we're going to do something a bit special. We're going to go into first-person view. We're going to have a look at it from the driver's eye, see what they see. Apologies to anyone there with that. The setting was ready to go, but turns out it didn't want to. However, we're going on pasture cam with Thomas Chamiatat. I'll have to apologise to him later for my absolute butchering of his family's name. He's having a really, really solid outlap as well. Absolutely beautiful all-black BMW chasing the all-pink Porsche. That is... Oh, and a bit of a wiggle out from Kovacs on the exit up towards Skyline, but... Oh, and a spin from him as well!
He's lost it.
He gets it turned round, but it's not enough to keep Chamiatat, who's able to find the left-hand side of the mountain and get round him. That is going to be hugely disappointing for Kovacs, who looked like he was going to have a monster of a race with him for the last 10 minutes. Speaking of last 10 minutes, gentlemen, that is 10 minutes left on this race. Let's go down to see where we're at. We have Thomas Jack in first, Robin Moe in second, Thomas Chamiatat now in third, as you just saw, as Kovacs came around spinning in fourth. Our Bentley boys in fifth and sixth, Jameek leading from Sam, and our silver leaders, Mike Benke and Jay Udadorp, racing within about 5/10 of each other. Now, this is going to be very important for the rest of the season, as the points right now is those two in front, and it is 26 points to Benke and 21 points to Udadorp. Udadorp unfortunately suffering from a 10-second penalty last week that may have, I don't really think it affected the points totals that much, but would have been deeply disappointing to get for him as someone that's very, very good with that kind of stuff normally.
I would just like to note as another thing, is watching this battle here between Benke and Udadorp. One of the big problems that you'll see with Udadorp trying to catch him is on that last straight, with a good exit, Udadorp lost about 3/10 coming down that straight.
I'd like to apologise for that technical issue. I clicked the wrong button. I'd like to apologise for that for anyone that saw that randomly flash up.
Thomas is off. Thomas is off.
Thomas is off. I think that is our leader off. Where did he go off? Let's have a look. Going through Skyline. Absolutely beautiful. Gets over to the left, over to the right.
Oh, he crashed again.
Doesn't quite get the thing. Spins. Oh, takes it down. Has he gone off again then?
And that's
him.
over.
Return to pits. That's it.
That is his race. He has absolutely damaged it. Retired the car. That is incredibly disappointing to see by someone who really could have had a lot in that race. Would have been very, very popular for a lot of our fans, and kind of harkens back to potentially last race as well in Silverstone, where he is absolutely storming it in third, racing with Robin Moe, really close, and just a couple of small errors, not even really mistakes, just it happens, and it's cost him a race win here. But although that might be very painful for Thomas Jack to deal with, Robin Moe is going to feel absolutely great about that right now, being that it's put him in first in a commanding position with potentially only about 4 laps left to do, and he's got a 4-second gap to the car behind.
But that gap has been dropping by a big margin every single lap. So will he be able to keep it?
Yeah, we'll have to have a look in about 5 minutes' time. But right now we've got Gottlieb backwards in the mountain section. No one looks to be coming up behind him just yet. He's going to get this turned around Mr. Bean style. And There we go. He's got it. That's all good. Now let's get back on with Udadorp and Benki up in the mountain section, running it up really close. Now these two have been having a whale of a time since the second pit stop. This is a battle of the McLaren, or the Lamborghini, sorry, just being much, much better suited to this mountain section. Yeah, going up the sweeping right-handers. The little dip here off to this left. Keeps the traction, keeps it up against the wall. But as soon as we get out of this mountain section, the V12 is going to come into its own. Just beautiful dozen of cylinders roaring in the countryside.
The only way that Uderdorp is getting past Benki here is if Benki makes a big mistake. He needs to force him into a mistake. That's the only way he's getting by. He's not getting by in a straight line.
And you say mistake, but it doesn't look like he got the best of exits out of Bentley. We've been seeing him gain 2 to 3 tenths on the straights sometimes with a good exit, but he's only gained about a tenth on this one, and a couple more of those, and that Lamborghini is currently right up on his exhaust. Let me look up and down, and again, yeah, a second and a half quicker. The last lap was Tom Shamiatat to Robin Moe. 20.3 second lap. That would have put him third in qualifying. And he's doing that in race pace conditions. 5 minutes left of this race once more. We're looking at about 3 more laps to go. And we're going to stay with Udadorp and Benki. Our silver 1-2. This is for getting them set up for the second half of the season in good position. And looks like there's a splash and dash for Schloblum in the bronze category. So there is actually about 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes of a gap between him and second place of bronze. As you can see, this is where Curtis is now a lap down, now putting himself on the same lap as the leader. So this is an incredible drive from Schloblum, putting himself pretty much a lap up in class. But when we get hung up on that, as you can see, down to 2 tenths on a relative for us. And again, 5 tenths for the exit of Bentley, 4 tenths, 3 tenths. But now the V12 kicks in, and I don't think Udadorp has the laps to get him. I think you were right, Randall. I think that he needs to make a mistake for Udadorp to catch this gun in this race.
And we might still get a battle for the lead, Checo and Leclerc style.
Oh, this is going to be fun, yeah. So I can see 1.7. That last lap, 9 tenths faster for Shamiatat. But let's have a look where Robin Moe is with 2 minutes 53 coming into the mountain section. So this looks to be, I don't want to jinx it, this looks to be our second to last lap. Now, let's have a look.
Now, one thing that might hurt Robin here is he's coming up to some back markers.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be phased that much. I think as long as he's not losing too much time. But I think the big thing that's going to affect him right now is his tyres are 10 minutes, 5 laps older than Shamiatat. So he is now starting to suffer. And I think with that back marker, you may have had a very, very valid point on that. That is absolutely going to be not what he wants to deal with going into the last lap. So that 1.5 second lap gap at the end of the last lap is now down to 3 tenths for first. So we are going to stay with your leader, Good Smile Racing number 3, Robin Moe in the Nissan. And we are going to watch as he completes the final lap of this race. We're going to watch it on board with Thomas Shamiatat. We are going to keep an eye on the battle for 6 between Benki and Udadorp for you. And if that gets incredibly close, we will quickly cut back to that so you don't miss any of that action. But as you heard from our wonderful race controller leader on final lap, that is going to be white flags for a lot of people. Checkered the next time Robin Moe comes round the mountain. He has about a dozen or so corners. He has the skyline and downhill section to master one more time. And he has 5 attempts to play with.
Robin also has 1 back marker still in front of him until the end.
Oh, and a bit of a mistake from Robin Moe, but the gap is not enough in the mountain. He has the time to recover. He has a couple of corners, a right-hander and a left-hander. If he can get these nailed, there's enough time to get back up to speed. But one mistake he could make, he kind of made it in the perfect space. Yes, he's lost 3 attempts since that mistake, but now Shamitat has to deal with the arrow wash coming off the back of that wide Japanese masterpiece, and the BMW, a very capable car, not really wanting to lose much because he's gonna have to make it killer out of Bentley. Now here we go, one last big braking zone, and they're both on the throttle. Off we go. 3 attempts at the moment separates these 2 amazing drives, and there is a back marker in front. Now this back marker, I do not know who it is, but they could kind of give the win to someone here if they do make a mistake. They need to push along with our leaders into the last 4 corners. 1 right. Hard braking zones for tight left with the back marker right in front. And then round we go under the Liquid Moly Bridge. Past pit entry into the final corner. 50, 60, turning, go. Battle right to the end. Robin Moe is your winner for Bathurst Season 9 Race 3. Let's see what else is going. We've got another very quick get on with Udadorp. So, third comes home Michael Kovac. Shamik and Maudsley going to come home 4th and 5th. But here we go. One last corner for Udadorp. Can he make it work? Is it worth the gamble? But he's not close enough to go for it. That looks like it's going to be your race win for Silver. Benki Udadorp going 2nd. With a yellow flag on the last race, Jackson Baker in the wall in the mountain section. We'll give you a quick replay as Marlowe comes home in 8th overall. And there's a bit of a gap between him and Andrews and Oosthausen. He gets it all wrong, doesn't quite get it all linked up, and is just not having a fun time with it. It's like he had a bit of a snap there, but we'll get back on with Andrews. Snap back to reality. And then wins Copper Soup Car Racing Team coming home. P3 in silver. Incredibly impressive. Absolutely wonderful drive from James Andrews. Started in P14, made it all up to P8. Speaking of impressive drives, Frederick Schloblum starting all the way in P19. 4th or 5th in class, I believe it was. And has absolutely done wonders to get it home. Curtis finishes, but he's not in front of him. He's a lap down. Curtis finishes, but it looks like he's going to come home in 2nd. Baker finishes in 3rd. Your class leader in another beautiful Bentley. There it is, Frederick Schloblum. Coming home in 1st place for the bronze category. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get you some of your race winners and the highlights of it for interviews. Bear with us, we'll be right back. Thank you for your patience with that quick break. I'm here with our overall winner and the winner of the Platinum category, Robin Moe. Hey, Robin, how did that race feel for you? Yeah, it was interesting. So we made a note of your unorthodox pit strategy. A nice early pit for yourself. Was that pre-planned, or did you just go with how it was feeling at the time? Yeah, it paid off incredibly well. An absolutely amazing win for yourself. Up 5 places from qualifying. Yeah, the parking the bus strategy definitely worked when you lost it a little bit going into the mountain section on that last lap, but Shamatak just didn't have the room on the left hand side to get past you, so you had more than enough time to get back up to pace. Was that a little bit of what we say a Ferrari moment for yourself there, or did that feel? Mhm. Mhm. Very nice. Excellent. So yeah, yeah, it was a very interesting race. We had a lot of good moments with Thomas Jack, and then unfortunately he did lose it at the end. I know you two are relatively close when it comes to practice and sharing it. Was that a how was that moment? Because I think you guys were all yeah, all kind of feeling it. Mhm. Mhm. No, yeah, yeah. We all know Bathurst can be a very cruel track when you're not fully focused the entire time on it. So, big congratulations to yourself. Looks like the strategy paid off. Are you looking forward to the next race at Imola? So excellent, and yeah, so it's been going really well for yourself. That's your second win of the season, giving you a decent points haul above Kovac. So now you're going to go into the latter half of the season with a little bit of a points buffer. Are you already thinking about taking the entire season down, or are you being a little bit more cautious with that kind of thought process? Hmm. Yeah, so yeah, 2 weeks for Imola, and then 2 weeks after that is Zolder for wrapping it up. So we've crossed the midway point now, and you look like you've got a nice, comfortable, not comfortable, a nice lead for yourself, ready to go. Well, congratulations, Robin, for your race win today under slightly less than perfect circumstances, we would say. Um, but yeah, again, congratulations, and I hope to see you in the next one. I mentioned it. Yeah, there is a little bit of a some kind of juju whenever I commentate a race for yourself. So we'll see if I can sneak in the next couple for you and see how it goes. Yeah, take care. Enjoy. That's an absolutely excellent interview with our overall winner and platinum winner, Robin Moe. Next up, we have Mike Benkei in the 149 Aston Martin V12, our winner of the silver category. Hello, Mike. How are you? I'm good. Thank you very much. Congratulations on the win. V12 power giving justice once again, but a very close race up to the end. How was that? How was that feeling towards the end? Hmm. Um, yeah, it seems like Oosthausen in the mountain section was all over you, but very hard to overtake up there. Was it? Were you trying to do anything specific defending in there, or were you just driving your line? Yeah. Yeah, I think we caught that. It was a very close, almost looked like potentially some contact about to happen, but you're both incredibly good drivers that we didn't really have to worry about that much. Seems that you were pretty comfortably in the lead, the only silver driver in the top 10 at qualifying. That must have felt pretty nice to be up there. So yeah, I think we could only say just there's some really incredible laps as well, with almost breaking the 2 minute mark by very small margins, and it was an incredibly fun session to watch. Um, that puts you. Let's have a look at the championship standings. That puts you another chunk, another 3 points ahead of Udadorp. So now 8 points clear going into Imola. How are you feeling for the season so far? Yeah, Imola and Tazolda, not exactly known for their long straights. It would have been nice if one of them was Spa, might have helped you out a little bit more. But the nice gap that you've got now, uh, you don't have to worry as much as you would otherwise. So hopefully, yeah, it all goes well for yourself. Um, any any thoughts or feelings of the season so far? How do you think it's been going for yourself? You got this, there's your second win of the season, so that must feel pretty good. No, of course. Yeah, we will find out in 2 short weeks, uh, and that is going to be an incredible race. And on that weekend, so yeah, I thought I'd just say out because we looks like our bronze winner hasn't doesn't want to be in an interview today. That's absolutely fine. So, um, in 2 short weeks, slightly less than that, on the 2nd of December, we'll have our 4 hours of Monza race. Will you be joining us in the Maserati at all? No. Abs- uh, mhm. Absolutely fine. Well, hopefully we can see a lot of people at that race. Another GT3, GT4 mixed. Gonna have lovely live stewards, of which I am potentially gonna be one of. If not, you will hear my voice again on the 2nd. Well, thank you very much for joining us, Mike. Congratulations on the win again. Can't wait to see you in a couple of weeks at Imola. And that is everything from myself, everything from Ivan, and everything from Michael as well.
Racing sometimes wins, sometimes you lose, but at least
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for joining us, folks. I hope to see many of you, or at least a handful of you, again at the next stream. That's everything from me. Take care.